In America, there is a timing of the Lord, and probably in the rest of the world. But the truth is that the timing of the Lord is often abused by people who taint what someone is encouraged in her heart, in her mind, in her soul to do correctly on behalf of the Lord. Yesterday, as a gentleman, I was encouraged by God to step out of the warmth of my tent at a particular day in the time in the afternoon, to be present when a woman named Jerry from the Salvation Army volunteer group was going to the Dollar Tree. Jerry took a few minutes of kindness to speak with me. I tried to encourage her to take some suits I'd found in the garbage that could be quickly dry cleaned and given to someone in need, based on their alleged representation of the homeless community. She basically went through the litany of list of what she has to do as a mom for her son and her daughter coming home for Thanksgiving. And I listened carefully, as a gracious person would, and I simply said, okay, I'll just keep them. Because she doesn't have the time to take on one more thing, she told me, and that's fine. She was not really in her volunteer mode. I did tell her that I was looking to get her a few things, and that the pants she had delivered last time didn't actually fit. I actually think they were changed out on me because I thought they were larger than what they provided. And they did have flannel in the jeans, which would have made things a little bit warmer than I am today. The truth is that the Salvation Army does not longer have a shop. I believe that was closed on the basis of improper behavior and improper collections, and openly they might not have been able to afford the rent any longer. Some communities try to get rid of the impoverished immediately so that they think they have less crime. That is not truthful. We know that crime hits at all levels. But the liars of a retail store will abuse people's rights, and they will play with that individual in the night or with false calls. But if we move back to Jerry's story, she did listen a little bit to what I'm looking for, and mentioned that she would reach out in text to someone who was a volunteer to let them know what I needed, so that possibly they could bring those things with them now after 3 weeks of having told her 3 weeks ago to me in the community, because that's what they do. They interconnect their social agencies to help people who are still in struggle, really because of other people's impediment of someone's life. You see, I'd be in a totally different place if someone had not gotten into my pockets when I was sleeping and stolen the business cards of the business network I was doing to reproduce my life here. And openly, a man who was trying to help me make some recordings, allegedly for him himself and me, went ahead of me into the Japanese department to talk about me. I didn't appreciate that, because there are certain social nuances and unique aspects of Japanese instructors that were offended by his approach. You see, I would have introduced myself correctly in Japanese culture, but instead he put me in a position of losing my proprietary content by giving away my video channel to that department, and I was very angry about that, because it doesn't allow me to present myself in the manner in which I wanted to. But when people misrepresent other people, they get offended at their missteps, and they walk away from helping. They also continue to abuse because of their offense. I've seen many men and women get offended by the rejection of food during a time of COVID. And most people don't want a handmade PB&J sandwich because we can all afford to do that today. What people are really needing are cans of protein, cans of quality soups that can be eaten cold, and cans of iced tea or lemonade to keep hydrated, either made hot or cold. People like me living in the streets also need those old-fashioned small hot pots like I used to have in college that would just feed one person, and they can be easily wiped out with wipes and other things. The liars of a community like to abuse people with false calls. They solicit someone and then they go off and they call police in the lies before Christ. Can you imagine that during the holidays, that people would do something like that? But Jerry did not pick up the suits that I had found, and openly I haven't found a place to receive them yet, but they are still quality fabrics. They're still quality colors. They need a little mending, like a button sewn on, and any human being can do that, even a 12-year-old. But the truth is, she did show some kindness, and she came out of the store with a couple hot hands. Now, the hot hands are being depleted significantly in that store, and that's appropriate. But so are my hot hands that I just purchased in the store. I'm looking in my bag today for those things, and I'm not finding them. And when I stand in line, I often find that people steal my markers and other things out of my bags. I'm looking for the things that belong to me, but someone cut holes in my property bag. Someone continues to put things that are like a bounty situation in my bags, and they were doing that to me all the time in my car and in my property when I was traveling across many state lines. So the stalker has returned to my life, and that's immoral.